Welcome everyone to the third week of our Lenten homily series, Redirecting Our Hearts. We're focusing on worship as a pillar of following Jesus and as a way to redirect our hearts, to make God the focal point of our lives, to direct all that we do towards true north, towards God. Have you ever gone to a sporting event or any kind of event that has a free giveaway? I remember one time years ago, my brother and my dad and I went to a Bears game. Well, at this game, the giveaway was a towel for fans to wave. And on the towel was the term fourth phase. Now, if you aren't familiar with football, each team has three phases or sub-teams, if you will: offense, defense, and special teams. And the towel said fourth phase because what the Bears were telling the fans was that they're more than fans. They aren't just spectators. They're actually part of the team, a phase of the team, just like offense or defense. And as part of the team, fans actually can impact the outcome. It's what we call home team advantage. The fans become not fans or mere spectators, but part of the game itself. Now, why would fans want to be a fourth phase? Well, first of all, they love their team, right? They want to see their team win and are moved to do their part. Knowing you can help your team win is so much more fulfilling than being a mere spectator. Even if in my case, it sometimes can result in laryngitis, which it has in the past. But let's look at this as an analogy, if you will, to our posture when we come to Mass. I think there definitely is a temptation to be passive in our Sunday worship, to see ourselves as spectators. You might describe it as just feeling like you're going through the motions or checking a box. Now, maybe that's because sometimes you might wonder about whether or not God is even with us. And the Israelites questioned that in the first reading from this past weekend. They ask outright, "Is the Lord among us or not?" And there are a lot of reasons we might feel that way. Sometimes it's not even necessarily a major tragedy or a crisis of faith. Of course, sometimes it is. But I think sometimes we just let our spiritual health get stale. We just get out of the practice of worship. We forget why we're there. Jesus reminds us in the gospel that true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. How do we worship God in spirit and truth and with heart? How do we move from being spectators to being the fourth phase, participating in the Mass itself? I think the answer is partly in what the Church calls full, conscious, and active participation. Here are some questions to ask yourself that can help you assess if you're coming as a spectator or with a fourth phase mentality. Let's start with full participation. Am I 100% present at Mass? Or is my mind on other things? In other words, do I let all those random thoughts kind of hijack my attention? Second, conscious participation. Do I really mean what I say, sing, and pray? Or am I on autopilot? Here's a good exercise. Whenever you say amen as a response at Mass, ask yourself, what did I just say amen to? And third, active participation. Don't be an armchair quarterback, get on the field. Active indicates intention, commitment, and positive movement. Do I know that my participation matters? That I am a unique and valued member of the team, of God's family? Full, conscious, and active participation. 100% in, aware of what we're saying and singing, and getting into it because our presence matters. Will we always feel it? No. But that's okay. Like any good and dedicated team member, we show up and do our part anyways because this matters. Now, when I leave Soldier Field or Wrigley Field after a win, I feel more connected to the players and the fans and more enthusiastic about the team. My team's spirit is rejuvenated. Well, the Church teaches that active participation in the liturgy is the irreplaceable source of true Christian spirit. If you want true Christian spirit, actively participate in the liturgy or public worship. If we want to worship in spirit and truth, like Jesus says, we have to get these three down: full, conscious, and active. And I hope that your Lenten journey becomes increasingly an experience of redirecting your heart to God, including fuller, more conscious, more active participation in our Sunday worship at Mass. And if you're looking to reinvigorate your connection to God, I highly encourage you to come out on March 13th to our special guest speaker event with Claire Noonan. She's the Vice President for Mission Integration at Loyola University Chicago, and she'll take us into the theme of prayer, the second part of the worship pillar of following Jesus. So take this opportunity on March 13th to recharge and rededicate yourself to connection with God so that you can come to Mass with a fourth phase mentality. We'll see you next week.